Move on to the second on the programme and race number 2 then. We're still on the dirt here. 1200 metre Class 4 once more. Headed by Sun Touch. Gets the blinkers on for the first time. He returns to the all-weather. Master Viking drops back into Class 4 company. Heartskeeper is a 6-time course and distance winner. Ugly Warrior makes his debut. Bingo gets the blinkers back on. He hasn't done much in 4 starts so far. Any prize, Joe Moreira, interesting booking there. 1200 metres all-weather for the first time for him. 1200 metres on the all-weather first time for him. And Secret Agent, well, it's been a while, but he's a 5-time winner in his career.
There should be some pace here. Startling Power, Master Viking, and now Beakley comes into the race, so they're going to kick on early, and Silly Buddies is going to punch through. It's going to make it tough for Elusive State, potentially a bit difficult too for Sun Touch, but barrier 5, I'm pretty sure Zach Burton can secure a spot 1 off with a bit of cover.
Here he is, Sun Touch too, and he's got the blinkers on for the first time. You can see him working in those here now, and he was really stretching out on the scallop down the back straight. He's coming into, he's had a couple of starts on the all-weather, but I think he can run pretty well on it. You can see it was a nice real stretch off him. Here's the first starter, Ugly Warrior. Now he's 992 pounds. He really works well on the surface. You can see, I think he's fit, ready to go for this particular race. Gets barrier number 3. He's a full brother to a group performer in New Zealand called Hooker Eagle, who's now in Macau. You might have seen him in the simulcast winning recently. Here's Bingo. He's going nicely down the back as well. He's put the blinkers back on him, so thought it was worth highlighting with the blinkers back on.
All right, OK, so his 5th start, the Hitchinbrook 3-year-old. So we're going to start off with the top weight here in Sun Touch. This is obviously on the turf, coming back to the all-weather. The blinkers go back on. Solid effort behind Roman Impero.
I'm going to side with him, Andrew. I think the blinkers going on is a real positive, and maybe the all-weather could help him. He's had 2 goes on it in the past. That was at the end of last season. He wasn't beaten all that far behind Team Fortune towards the end of last season, who was flying at the time. So I'm going to side with him. I keep looking around that form, Roman Impero, Hot King Prawn and Jing Jing Win. I think it's fairly solid when you oppose him to the opposition. And there was a little excuse for him at the start of that race we just looked at, but he still closed off well. Yeah,
I've got him in. I've got him in there for second. Sun Touch, I think he can run well, as you said, Brett. And he's by Rip Van Winkle. And we saw when Goldie Flanker went on to the all-weather, he did win them in a row a couple of times. So I think Sun Touch, the dirt's not going to be a problem.
I think he's running too later on in the card.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look at Heartskeeper, finishing in 5th here. This was again behind Giddy Giddy. We saw a little bit earlier on, and well, he does. This is his track, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of Dad's Army here with Heartskeeper and Silly Buddies both getting on towards the veteran stage, but they still run well. And sort of when these horses get a bit older on the all-weather, it sort of really suits them because there's a little bit of give in the ground, good for their knees and stuff. He's an 8-year-old now, Heartskeeper. He gets a 7-pound claim. I think he'll run okay.
I got Heartskeeper and Startling Power. Startling Power pulled up lame after that race, so he had a relatively decent excuse, I would have thought.
All right, one more to have a look at. Debutantes. Ugly Warrior. He's a 3-year-old by Swiss Ace. Barrier 3. Meet Choi again. What do we know about him?
Well, I think he's had all his trials and he looks pretty good. He had an easy 2-year-old trial in New Zealand before he got here. Now, he's only a little horse, 992 pounds. Didn't mind this trial at all. He only ran 7th, but you can see he's not pushed out at all. The all-weather suits him, being by Swiss Ace. As I said, he's quite well bred. He's got group performers in his family, and not a strong race. I'm going to take a chance with him. What's he, $11 at the moment? He's in the market.
Well,
to the group.
We know how prudent Mi Choi is when it comes to horses on the dirt. I was just a bit concerned he might get run off his legs early. There's a bit of pace in this race, and he might get back and cop a bit of kickback and all that. But I'm not against him. I'm not as confident as Paul, but I think he's a chance of running well, definitely.
All right, OK. So race number 2, Class 4. So he gets in. Does he the first starter?
Yeah, I'm going to put him on top. We'll give him a chance to go well here first start. I just like the way his track work has been, and I don't think it's an overly strong race. Sun Touch is obviously the hardest to beat. Beakley comes into the race now, and we saw him just about lead all the way a couple of starts ago. It was disappointing last start, but we'll give him another chance. Elusive State is another one that's been working pretty well. Barrier 11, welcome back to Alberto Santa as well. He'll be riding that, so we'll give him a chance on the place line. He's in the market as well. But I'll be backing the 6 each way here at double figures.
Fair enough, Paul. Yeah, he's an interesting runner, no doubt. I'm going to go with the toppy. I just kept coming back to him, Sun Touch. You know, reasonable barrier. The blinkers are on, so him on top. The 9 Bingo definitely goes into the tips. He hasn't had a start on the all-weather. His 2 initial runs as a Griffin were both good efforts with blinkers on. So those blinkers going back on, nice barrier. Happy to take another chance with him. Hearts Keeper's an old timer, but he knows his stuff. And Startling Power had a genuine excuse last start. Prior to that, I thought he was close. So 1, 9, 4 and 10. I'm happy to go with Sun Touch each way, if you can get each way odds.
Yeah, all right. And I forgot, apologies, forgot to welcome back Alberto. And he's running here for Derek Cruz. He struck very quickly for Derek at the end of last season, didn't he, as well?
Yeah. He's got a couple of interesting rides.
All right, there we go. That's the second race. Race number 3, that's up next as we head on to the turf for the first leg of the first double trio.